The Bible is a living word that reads us as we read it. It's a person, a voice that proves that time is not linear, as one sentence can confirm the past, guide the present, and declare the future. You are here. I am here. He is here. We are here. Right now. In the tomorrow of yesterday and in the yesterday of tomorrow. I thank you for joining today. So we're back. Thank you so much for joining once again. In our last episode, we talked about a very practical example of David not exercising self control. He fell victim to the same trap that many of us fall victim to today: temptation. It's a new day, but we're dealing with the same enemy. In the Garden of Eden, when the serpent deceived and tempted Eve, he employed the same method that he did with David and the same method that he uses today. In Genesis 3, we find the story. Regardless of the fact that the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was off limits, it said that Eve saw that the tree was beautiful and its fruit looked delicious. She wanted what it could give her, so she took it and she ate it. David did the exact same thing. He's on a staycation, took a little nap, woke up, went for a stroll on his roof when he should have been on the battlefield with his army. He saw a woman that was beautiful. Regardless of the fact that he learned that she was off limits because she's married, her fruit looked delicious to him. He wanted what she could give him, so he took her. I'm not saying he took her forcefully. I don't know if Bathsheba consented or not. All I'm saying is he saw what he wanted. He had what he wanted. Imagine with me, if you will, you're minding your own business when you receive a message that you cannot ignore. The king has summoned you. Saying no could be very costly because, he the king, which makes refusal difficult. You yield. A subject literally under the weight of the king's authority. Afterwards, you're dropped off to resume life as though it could ever be the same, and you cannot shake the thought of what just took place. The shadow of death lurks around every corner because, mind you, the act of adultery at that time was punishable by death. Every knock on the door is triggering. You consistently wonder if you're being watched, and you begin to get the sense that you're not alone, only to discover that you are not. The nightmare, it's not over. It has only just begun. And the last person who you can imagine wanting to talk to is the first person who you tell. Bathsheba sent a message to David. I am pregnant. It doesn't say that David fell on his face in repentance and sought the Lord for direction. It doesn't say that he sent word to Bathsheba that he was sorry and that he would make things right. David did exactly what Eve did. He tried to cover it all up. He sent a messenger to Joab, the commander of his army, and had him send Uriah home. Uriah made it back to Jerusalem. We don't know what was going through his mind as he journeyed. Did he wonder if everything was okay with his wife? Did he think that he was in trouble? Was this common? Was it something that the king did often in sending for a report? We don't know. Standing before David with curiosity undoubtedly scribbled across his face, David awkwardly started to make small talk. So, what's up? How's it going? How's Joab doing out there? It's all good. Joab's holding it down like always. Word. That's what's up. And the soldiers, how's the crew getting along? What's the latest on the war? They're a tough bunch. We're working on our next play against the Ammonites, but they're holding pretty steady. Well, good talk. I'm sure you can't wait to get a little R&R, so I'll leave you to it. What? Uriah left, and David sent after him with a little gift. I imagine that David was able to kind of catch his breath a little bit, thinking that Uriah was going to go home, be with his wife, and ensure that the timeline of the child's birth would add up in the end, give or take a few weeks, right? David tried the wrong one because that's not at all what happened. Uriah never went home. He ended up staying overnight at the entrance of the palace with David's servants. When David found out the next day, he sent for Uriah. So, what's good? You just came back from being away from home a while, right? Yes. So, what is this I hear about you not going home last night? This had to be awkward for Uriah. Uriah responded in a way that once echoed David's sentiment. It didn't feel right. The Ark of the Covenant, Israel, Judah, they all stand in tents right now. My commander, Joab, and your soldiers are out in the open field dealing with Lord knows what. What would I look like going home, eating good food, and laying with my wife while they out there risking their lives? The purity of Uriah's heart posture must have been nostalgic for David in both a heartwarming way and in a way that gave a sense of being a long way from home. David, running out of ideas, invited Uriah to dinner, and he made sure that his wine cup never stayed empty for too long. The plan was to get Uriah so wasted that he'd loosen up, go home, and be with his wife Bathsheba. Once again, David's plan failed. At this point, David is desperate. He is desperate to cover up his sinful act. And he resorted to a level of wickedness that makes me wish that Uriah would have just gone home. He sent Uriah back to Joab carrying his own death sentence, a sealed letter with the instructions: put Uriah on the front line, fall back, and then leave him in the heat of the battle to fend for himself. That was a directive that had to be one of the hardest yet for Joab to follow, because Uriah was one of Joab's battle buddies too. They've been rocking it on the battlefield together for years now. When Eve's first attempt at covering up her sin failed, blood of the innocent was shed. The Lord fashioned the skin of an animal to clothe her. When David's first and second attempt at covering up his sin failed, blood of the innocent was shed. Here's a bonus nugget for you. We sin. All of us either have or will find ourselves in a situation when we will eat of some fruit that is off limits. When that happens, save yourself the trouble of thinking that you in your own strength and power can cover up your own sins. The biggest favor that you can do for yourself is to accept that the blood of the innocent, Jesus Christ, was already shed to cover you. I'm not saying that it will exempt you from the consequences of your actions, but it will free you from the chokehold of shame and condemnation. You don't have to go through the same path that Eve did. You don't have to go through the same path that David did. The blood of the innocent, Jesus Christ, was already shed to cover you. I'm just saying. Uriah died at the hands of an Ammonite soldier, but it was David's hands who were bloodstained. When Bathsheba heard that her husband was dead, she mourned for him. The custom was for them to mourn for 7 days. She did. For 7 days, she bore the full weight of the loss of her husband. But before her tears had time to fully dry, a familiar shadow darkened her doorway. David's messenger. The king would like to see you. I'll stop there for now, but I look forward to unpacking what happens next for Bathsheba and David in our next episode, if the Lord blesses me to record another. Thank you so much for your support, your encouragement, your love. It means so much to me. Until next time, bye for now.